Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'm just bringing up the example that we had in the last video. This was the worked example that I did with the conservation of energy equation with no friction. I want to rework this problem and introduce friction to it. But let's quickly review what happened. We were able to use the reduced version because there was no friction, there was no non-conservative force that needing to account for any work being taken out of the system. And basically we just had kinetic energy plus potential energy in the first state is equal to kinetic energy and potential energy in the second state. And in this case, we just went through and did the math. And as this guy on the snowboard is going down the hill, he's increasing his kinetic energy, but decreasing his potential energy at exactly the same rate as he goes vertically down. Basically just trading potential energy for kinetic energy. Now let's change up this problem a little bit and say that instead of having no friction, we're just going to basically say there is some friction. And let's say that we're given the final velocity. So instead of the case where there's no friction on this surface and the snowboarder ends up doing 14.3 meters per second by the bottom, let's say that we've calculated their bottom speed to be 10 meters per second. And then we're going to be looking for what is the average friction force then that would cause the final velocity in this case, given the height difference of 10 meters and the path traveled of 50 meters, so that we'll actually be getting this final velocity. So to do that, we're going to have to use this first expression up here that includes the term for work. So let's get started then. Let's just get rid of the work that we had for the previous example, and we'll start fresh in the same space. And we can just fill in what all these are. So we have the kinetic energy, which is 1/2 m v1 squared. That's lowercase v being velocity, plus mg h1, plus the work due to the force of friction. That's going to be F times S, which I talked about a few videos ago. And this is going to be equal to 1/2 m v2 squared plus mg h2. All right. Unlike the last video, we can't cancel out mass because it's not present in each of these expressions the way that we've written them. So we'll just have to leave it in, but we can see here that h2 is going to be equal to 0 because that, like we said in the last video, we're setting this reference height as our 0 datum, and that is the height of situation 2. So at least that term will go to 0. But we can just fill in the values for the rest of the terms. So we have 1/2 times the mass, which is 75 kilograms, times the initial velocity, which is 3 meters per second, all squared, plus again the mass, 75 kilograms, times acceleration due to gravity, meters per second squared, times h1, that is value of 10 meters, plus the unknown average force of friction, times the path traveled, which is 50 meters. And that's all going to be equal to what we have on the right side, which is 1/2 times mass, 75 kilograms, times v2 squared, and v2 is 10 meters per second, all squared. All right, so we can just simplify these term by term. The first term here is going to be 337.5 Newton meters. You can see the units here will be unit meters because it's kilograms times meters per second squared times meters. So we have newtons times meters. This is the same thing as joules. All of the terms are going to be in the same units, but we can write it as Newton meters because you'll see it's nice to cancel out with the 50 meters when we get to it. But the next term here, this is 7,357.5 Newton meters plus average force of friction times 50 meters, and that's going to be all equal to the right hand side, which is 3,750 Newton meters. All right, we can rearrange and simplify a little bit. We have friction times 50 meters is going to be equal to negative 3,945 Newton meters. So if we just divide both sides by 50, we'll find that friction, which is the average force of friction, is equal to negative 3,945 Newton meters over 50 meters. And so the average friction force is just equal to negative 78.9 newtons. So we can put a little box around that. That does answer the question. But if you were curious about how much work this is taking out of the system, basically taking out of this object, which is the snowboarder going down the hill, we can really quickly check that. We can just say that U is equal to that force times the distance. So it's negative 78.9 newtons times 50 meters. So the work is negative 3,945 Newton meters, or you can write that as joules. So basically 3.9 kilojoules of energy is being lost due to friction as this guy goes down the hill.